As a fantasy reader, I know we love big, chunky series. You know, we love a good trilogy, maybe 4, 5, or if you like me, I've just started The Wheel of Time, so 14 big, chunky books to get our teeth into and really delve into a fantasy world and all its characters and storylines that envelop us for weeks or months. But sometimes we need to be able to scratch that fantasy itch with something shorter yet satisfying, and preferably a standalone, so a one and done, and just appreciate the joy of that feeling. So what I've got here are 5 fantasy standalones that you can read in a weekend, possibly a day, depending on how fast you read, but certainly within a weekend. So if we'll start with the biggest one and work down to the shortest one. So the biggest one is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This clocks in at, or this version clocks in at 280 pages. So this is about Nora, and she ends up in the Midnight Library. Effectively, she tries to take her own life. So suicide warning around this book. But the Midnight Library is a library full of books, and every book is an alternate life Nora could have lived if she'd made a different choice. And this gets her to explore all those different potential lives she could have been living now rather than the life she was actually living at the point she entered the Midnight Library. It's quite touching. It gives me very much It's a Wonderful Life vibes. And I believe It's a Wonderful Life is one of Matt Haig's favourite films, so that's probably why it connects to that. Some people will find it a little preachy, so depends what you like. He's also got another one which I enjoy, The Humans, again similar sort of length, and that's about an alien coming down to Earth and learning about humanity and humans and human society, which is also very, very good. There you go, I've already given you 6 now. But anyway, Matt Haig. If we go down slightly in size, this was one of my favourites from this year just gone, 2023. I was going to say this year, but it's now last year. This comes to actually 245 pages. It's Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This is about Piranesi, and he lives in the house, and there's this magnificent house full of rooms and vestibules and stairways, and we've got several floors, and we've got an ocean filling the bottom, which occasionally floods up and then drifts away. We've got seagulls and animals, we've got statues in every room, and this becomes a mystery because he's on his own and we understand how he's ended up where he is, but it's all told through his point of view from his journal entries. And really what really got me is the imagery and the world Susanna creates in this house has just stuck with me for, I read this, a year ago, just over a year ago, and it's just stuck with me ever since. And I continue to find myself thinking about the house and Piranesi in this house. And as I say, it does become a bit of a mystery element at the end, which is all interesting to see how that develops. But it is magnificent. This probably won't be for everyone, but it's got that majesty of what fantasy can bring when it really creates a world. And it does it in what is a relatively short book, but it is beautifully, beautifully written. And I know her other famous book is like 5 times as big as this, but what she's done here is superb. And you can, 250 pages, you can probably get that done in a weekend. So let's go down the scale again. This one is less than 200 pages, 199 pages. So I've squeezed it in under. And that is The Forgotten Beast of Eld by Patricia A. McKillop. So this is about a 16-year-old sorceress who is isolated, doesn't really care about humans, and she's isolated in this world where there's all these like a menagerie of fantastic beasts that surround her, and then when she's 16, basically a baby is dropped off to her for her to look after, and we get all her suddenly emotional attachment to this baby as this baby grows up, and then many years later someone comes back to claim the baby, and there's kingdoms, and suddenly she's involved in human society and the politics of kings and realms, and it's beautiful. The writing is exceptional. It's not overly flowery, but it has a lyrical quality that makes it so engaging and yet so easy to read and to appreciate and just drift into this just fantastical world she's created. And the animals are beautiful, the magic is exquisite. It's just a wonderful, wonderful story, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. As I say, 199 pages. and so easy to read. And it tells a fabulous story. And the animals, the fantastical animals, magnificent. Magnificent. If you haven't read this, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but this is a beautiful, beautiful story. Now, one that a lot of people do talk about, and is one of my absolute all-time favourites, and clocks in at around about 100 pages, just over 100 pages. So really, really short. Animal Farm by George Orwell. Absolute classic. We've got animals taking over the human farm and running the farm for themselves. We've got, you know, the politics of it, the communism, the dictatorship, the whole gamut of what that means and how society is flawed, and the views of it, and the political structures, and how the pigs dominate in this one, and that all animals are equal, yet some are more equal than others. It's beautiful. I mean, I also love 1984 by George Orwell, which again is another fairly short book, but this one is magnificent. As we see the animals, we see, you know, certain animals really buying into the propaganda, the agenda of the ruling animals, and, you know, putting their all into it. And it's sad. Oh, it is emotional and it is sad, but it is beautiful. And as I say, 100 pages. You can certainly knock this out in a weekend, if not a day. And for you super fast readers, probably an hour or so, but that'll take me a bit longer. And finally, a book I don't actually own a physical copy of, but it's by an author I have learnt to adore for his wit, his writing. I'm going to say panache. He's got a certain style and panache to his writing. And that is Oscar Wilde's The Canterville Ghost. This is, again, a really, really short book. And it's about a ghost, unsurprising, but it's not a horror story in that sense. We have an American family moving into a British aristocratic house, sort of mansion, which has the ghost, and the house calls Canterville, so it's the Canterville Ghost. And it's about the ghost trying to scare these new people to the home, these Americans that have turned up, and let's just say they're not impressed by the ghost's antics. And we have so much wit and humour in all of Oscar Wilde's writing. I mean, his Picture of Dorian Gray is a classic, and I want to say Handbag, but it's his play Importance of Being Earnest. And if you get the handbag reference, put it down in the comments below. So his wit was, I mean, he's taking the mickey out of the British aristocracy. He's taken and the American, I suppose, aristocracy of sort. It's a diplomat's family, so sort of high up in the political realms. And you've also got this ghost having this effectively existential crisis within it. And it's so humorous, and it's touching, and it's beautiful, and it's super, super short. You can read it in a couple of hours. It's amazing and well worth it. I read this in October last year, and I was blown away yet again by Oscar Wilde's use of words to tell a story, and his grasp of the English language, and his ability to just infuse it with so much wit and wisdom, and just carry you along in a story. Superb. So there are 5 really short fantasy standalones you can pick up, you can read, you can get done in a couple of days, you can scratch that itch and have a fantastic time doing it. Please let me know if you know any other short fantasy standalones down in the comments down below. Always worth having a few on the list, just to, you know, do a good palate cleanser from those big chunky series. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.